Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you. This is a new update from www.central-mosque.com and from the Humble Heart YouTube channel. The topic is Afghanistan, CNN/BBC versus reality. Yesterday's video, the sound quality wasn't good. I have no idea why, and I apologize for that. Hopefully today it should be all okay. So we start out with first things first. As I said, and I've always been saying previously, this isn't a movie, this isn't drama. There are real people at stake, people's families, people's lives, people's wives, kids, themselves, their properties. So I request everybody to make dua for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring safety and security to the people of Afghanistan who have suffered enough for decades. And also, who rules Afghanistan is the right of the people of Afghanistan and not the outsiders. You may have one opinion or another. However, the right of who rules them and the rulers of Afghanistan rests with the people of Afghanistan. Let's now turn to the topic. If you watch the Western media, CNN and BBC, you constantly get the image that the world has fallen apart. Everybody's trying to escape Afghanistan and so on and so forth. Hordes of people leaving their villages, their livelihood, their families, and so on and so forth. Is it really like that? So as you know, Pakistan shares the border with Afghanistan at many places. Panboldak in Balochistan, in Torkham, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and stuff like that. So what is actually happening on the border? Here is the reality. Frontier Constabulary Pakistan taking selfies with Taliban. That's what's happening with the border. Nothing serious to report. The media doesn't say that. So these are soldiers. So they're basically both sides of the border. Pashtun, Pakistani Pashtun, Afghan Pashtuns standing there taking selfies. That's about it. Moving on. When it comes to the women of Pakistan and Afghanistan, their dress code is very similar. They wear shalwar kameez and they partially cover their head with dupatta. I'm talking about Orthodox women. I'm not talking about sisters who follow the Sunnah because they wear hijab properly or a niqab. I'm talking about generally throughout cities of Pakistan and Afghanistan, their dressing is fairly similar. If you've been watching Clarissa Ward in CNN when she's reporting out of Afghanistan, this is how she's reporting out of Afghanistan. Completely and absolutely covered up, properly Sharia compliant and so on and so forth, ever since Taliban have come into Afghanistan. So here we will watch a clip and what the image this sends out to people is, look, even the CNN reporter has to cover up properly and comply to Sharia, although Clarissa Ward obviously is not a Muslim. Here is her clip of how she's reporting from Afghanistan.
As soon as we leave our compound, it's clear who is now in charge. Taliban fighters have flooded the capital. Smiling and victorious, they took this city of 6 million people in a matter of hours, barely firing a shot.
This is a sight I honestly thought I would never see. Scores of Taliban fighters, and just behind us, the U.S. Embassy compound.
Some carry American weapons. They tell us they're here to maintain law and order. Everything is under control. Everything will be fine, the commander says. Nobody should worry.
What's your message to America right now?
America already spent enough time in Afghanistan. They need to leave, he tells us. They already lost lots of lives and lots of money. People come up to them to pose for photographs.
They're just chanting death to America, but they seem friendly at the same time. It's utterly bizarre.
Almost everywhere we go, it seems the Taliban want to talk.
A lot of people are very frightened that you might engage in revenge attacks against security forces.
Since yesterday, we've proved that nothing will happen, and we give assurance to everyone that they will be safe, Mauli Murtaza tells us, and we follow our leaders. Once we make a promise, we stick to it. Maintaining law and order is top of that list of promises. At the presidential palace, the Taliban are now guarding the gate. They say they're here to fill the vacuum left when the government fled. But the welcoming spirit only extends so far, and my presence soon creates tension.
It's because of you.
They've just told me to stand to the side because I'm a woman.
So that was Clarissa Ward of CNN reporting from the streets of Afghanistan. Before I talk about her report and some of the things that CNN is portraying in that news report, let me show you an interesting tweet. So this is a tweet from Dr. Omar Zakhilwal, who was the foreign minister of Afghanistan. There is a Canadian member of parliament, Chris Alexander. This is his Twitter ID, Cal Zander. Go through his timeline, and it is filled with absolute vitriol and viral outbursts against Pakistan. And he keeps taking digs against Islam and so on and so forth all the time. So Dr. Umar Zakhilwal a few days ago said, "My friend and more Afghan than Afghans, get a life. You once drove to the Canadian Parliament on Afghan, Canadian and other immigrants' votes because became Minister of Immigration, but then showed your ugly racist face against the same immigrants pushing in the Canadian blah blah blah." It's an entire timeline, multiple tweets in there. Chris Alexander, instead of responding, blocked him. So these are the kind of people in the West who are trying to be more Afghan than Afghans. Also, the other thing, the West all of a sudden seems to be the protector and guardian of Muslim women rights in Afghanistan. That's about it. They have no concern about Muslim women rights in Palestine, about what's happening, about Muslim women rights in Kashmir, nothing. Just Afghanistan is what they're concerned about. So I just wanted to point this out. Now, this report from Clarissa Ward, she talks about multiple things. She talks about, the guy chanting death to America, so on and so forth. I would like you to pause, replay that chant, and it doesn't matter whether you understand Pashto or not. The guys are saying, Nara Takbir, Allahu Akbar, and then he's saying, "Go America, go." He's not saying, excuse me, death to America. He's saying, "Go America, go." Go back and listen to that clip. Then she is covered in full Sharia hijab, trying to portray that this is what they're doing. So what are normal Afghan women doing? So there are, of course, women reporters in Afghanistan. Afghanistan also has an official news agency, Tulu News. So here is a clip I want to show you of Hasiba Atakpal reporting this morning on the 17th of August 2021 directly from the streets of Kabul. Take a look at her dress, take a look at what she's saying compared to what Clarissa is saying, who's a foreigner in Afghanistan. Hasiba Takpal, she used to file reports all the time for Tulu News. Take a look at her clip from the 17th of August.
مننه ارغان صاحب سلامونه تاسو ته او ټولو لیدونکو ته. زه غواړم چې نن په ځانګړې توګه په کابل ښار کې د میرمنو او ښځو د حضور په اړه وغږیږو. دوه ورځې په کابل کې د ښځو دوه ورځې په کابل کې د طالبانو له حضور تیریږي. په ښار کې ګڼه ګوڼه شته، خلک حضور لري، خلک شته دي، بازارونو کې هم خلک لیدل کېږي، خو د میرمنو شمیر تر پخوا لږ څه کم شوی دی. میرمنې شته، بازار ته راځي، ښار کې تګ راتګ کوي سره، خو تر پخوا او تر هغه د بېلګې په توګه که ووایو د تېرې یوې اونۍ سره په توپیر د میرمنو او ښځو حضور په کابل ښار کې کم شوی دی. مخکې له دې څه زه اوس تاسو سره خبرې وکړم ما ځینو ښځینه او ښځو سره چې فعالې وې، لیکوالانې پاتې شوي دي او د دې تر څنګ د ډیرو ملکی ادارو کې کار کړی دي او یا مدني فعالان هم پاتې شوي دي. ما هغوی سره خبرې کولې، هغوی د خپلې اندېښنې له موږ سره شریکې کړې. که څه هم طالبان وایي چې ښځې دې راشي تګ راتګ دې وکړي په کابل ښار کې، هېڅ ورته مشکل نشته او ستونزه نشته. دا یې طالبانو تر دې وړاندې ویلي دي. خو میرمنې وایي چې هغه کومه تجربه چې هغوی د طالبانو له پخوانۍ دورې نه لري او د طالبانو له دورې څخه کومې تجربې لري او څه ورته ویل شوي دي، هغه د دې لامل شوی چې هغوی ونسي کولی په هغه کچه چې په کار ده په کابل ښار کې حضور ولري او یا دا چې خپل کارونو ته ادامه ورکړي.
So that was Hasiba Atakpal, 17th of August, Tulu News reporter. Take a look at an Afghan woman reporting from Afghanistan compared to what Clarissa was saying. Now, let's talk about the third thing she alleged. She said Taliban are going to have revenge attacks and so on and so forth on people whom they oppose, as the entire world knows that Taliban are Sunni. So when somebody is Sunni, who do they have a theological disagreement with the most? That would be the Shia. So as I'm talking about this, this is the month of Muharram, and as we know, there's a video on my YouTube channel. Please go and watch it in the description, where I've clearly specified the differences between Shias and Sunnis when it comes to Ashura. So the Shias, the way they conduct themselves during the month of Muharram, and particularly around Ashura, is diametrically opposed to the Sunni version. And as the 10th of Muharram is coming closer, here is a video directly from Kabul, where there are a lot of Shia people. There's a lot of Shia people in Afghanistan, and they are carrying out their religious rituals according to Shiaism, which differ from Taliban, who rule Kabul openly. Here's a clip of Shia conducting themselves during the month of Muharram in Kabul. The last topic that she talks about is she is told to stand aside because she is a woman. Here's a clip of Taliban visiting a local hospital in Kabul, and they are talking to the lady doctors and the medical students who are interns and residents under training. And what they're saying is have itminan, have contentment. You are our sisters, you are our daughters, and serve the nation with a sense of responsibility. That is roughly a summary of what he's saying. It's a 30-second clip. Let's watch. So the same Taliban that she is saying are apparently, there's no recording of that. Apparently, she's saying that telling him to her to step aside, are going to a local hospital and telling the women to serve with absolute conviction and with no fear, with a sense of responsibility. Here is a clip of Taliban talking to female doctors.
دي پرسونل دي څومره ډاکټرانې چې د کابل په شفاخانو کې دي نو ټولو نه موږ غوښتنه کوو چې خپلې وظیفو ته دې په اطمینان باندې راسي داسې اطمینان چې د دې نظام نه مخکې کېدی شي د خویندو یو څه د ترس احساس کوو د دې نه وروسته بلکل د ترس احساس ونه کوي تاسې د موږ خویندې یې تاسې د موږ مورګانې یې تاسې موږ د جامعه تاسې ته ضرورت لري په تاسې د دې ملت پیسې خرج شوي دي.
So as I have said before, women in Afghanistan and Pakistan dress in a very similar manner. I'm not talking about the Sunnah aspects of this dress, about how Sharia compliant it is and so on and so forth. I'm saying generally women wear a shalwar kameez and they partially cover their head. In normal, if you go around the cities and stuff, that's what you normally see. So the first thing we need to see, we need to establish a baseline. So here Clarissa has landed in Afghanistan and she's reporting under Taliban, dressed in Sharia hijab. I want to show you, again from Tulu News, a broadcast from May 10th, 2020. So this is, over a year, 3 or 4 months ago. This is when America, NATO, and everybody else is in Afghanistan. The enlightened government is ruling Afghanistan. Women are free to do whatever they want. Here is a clip from May 10th, 2020. Take a look and pay particular attention to how this woman is dressed.
په همدې موضوع د بحث لپاره د سولې انسټیټیوټ مشر ښاغلی خلیل صافی سټډیو ته وصل دی. سلامونه صافی صاحب، ښه راغلاست خپرونې ته. کیدای شي په لومړي سر کې په دې اړه موږ ته ووایاست چې ښاغلي خلیلزاد نوي سفرونه پیل کړي دي د سیمې هیوادونو ته، او یو مهم اړخ یې دا دی، یو مهمه برخه یې دا ده چې اوس یې ویلي دي چې باید هند له طالبانو سره مخامخ خبرو ته کینی.
So you saw a woman presenter and you saw the way she's dressed on May 10th, 2020. Now fast forward to August 16th, 2021. So here it is, the same Tulu News, and the Maulvi Abdul Haq of Taliban is being interviewed on the same channel with a female presenter. Take a look and contrast, and there's literally not a lot has changed in Afghanistan at all compared to what the West is trying to tell the world. As I keep saying, the who rules Afghanistan is the right of the people of Afghanistan, and me or anyone else, we can't dictate to the people of Afghanistan who they choose to be their rulers. All my purpose of making these videos is to show the contrast of what the Western media is telling you what's happening in Afghanistan compared to what is actually happening on the ground. So please watch this small clip of the interview of the Taliban leader and make dua for the people of Afghanistan. Jazakallahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
اوس هم لکه څنګه چې مخکې مو ویلي په راپورونو کې تاسو ویلي د کابل اوسیدونکو له طالبانو غوښتي دي تر څو وکولی شي د کابل ښار امنیت ټینګ کړي. له دوی نه یې غوښتي دي چې عامه تاسیساتو ته باید ضرر ونه رسیږي. د دوی پر وړاندې باید د دوی د هغو ډلو نه چې غواړي د طالب پر نوم باندې راشي ځایونه وران کړي، ځایونه چور کړي، امنیت ټینګ کړي. په دې اړه باندې بحث لرو او د بحث لپاره کابل کې د افغان غږ راډیو مدیر مسؤل ښاغلی مولوي عبدالحق حماد را سره دی. ښاغلی حماد ستړی مشي، بخیر راغلاست سټوډیو ته، ژوندي اوسئ. لکه څنګه چې مخکې مو یو خبر درلود چې په هغه کې ښاغلي ملا یعقوب ویلي ول چې هیڅوک حق نه لري تر څو د حکومتي چارواکو کورونو ته ورننوځي، د دوی موټرونه واخلي. دغه څرګندونې څنګه ارزوئ اوس مهال؟
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم، الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام علی رسول الله. مخکې له دې چې ستاسې پوښتنې ته ځواب ورکړم، غواړم د دې اوسني وضعیت په اړه خپل ګران ولس ته مبارکي ووایم د دې مثبت تحول په نتیجه کې چې الحمدلله موږ پس له 40 کلونو خپلو هغو ارمانونو ته ورسېدو چې په دې ارمان په لاره کې موږ په میلیونونو شهیدان ورکړي وو او یو مثبت تحول راغی. زه یې ځکه مثبت بولم چې د افغانستان د ټولو ولایتونو د سقوط په نتیجه کې په جګړه کې تر 50 زیات افراد نه دي وژل شوي، چې دا یو مثبت تحول دی. او په لنډ وخت کې د کابل اوضاع ډېره ارامه سوله، چې دا یو ډېر مثبت